Rising.
Ooh, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da, see ya. Wake up and rise, open your eyes. It's breakfast with the Thomases, the ultimate prize. Mental Wellness Monday, work it out Wednesday, pay it forward Friday, we'll season the day. Digital finance, harmony of love, serving food for what goes to rising as the beat and mid Eastern on P2G TV. Breakfast with the Thomases, come meet me.
Let me see.
Yeah.
On it. Everybody
Sing that song, girl. Sing that song. Oh.
No. And no, that's not me. All right, that is me trying to get calls in.
I was trying to, you notice this Grand Rising to you all. Welcome. I'm Alvin Thomas, the Gold Banker, coming to you live 1 gram at a time. And I am here with Miss Partner Extraordinaire, who is dancing around. So I don't know if she can even hear me yet.
I'm thinking today, baby.
All
okay,
right.
So we got a lot of good stuff. We got some business to get to. We want to say Grand Rising. Welcome to Breakfast with the Thomases.
I want you to know, coming up, because today is such a special day, when it's time for the closing, y'all guys are going to hear me do our closeout song, and it's going to be phenomenal.
No, he's not.
We'll be dancing.
Don't believe him.
I got you guys covered.
Nah, we good.
Oh, no, but today's going to be really cool. Today's cool.
Nobody.
We are out here today in the NYC, and we have an official snow day.
Okay, stop. All right, so before we get down to the conversation, we're going to want to make sure we give a little public
PSA.
Right, public service announcement for those who are watching. Y'all can see this. We are going to be checking out 311. 311 is the NYC 311 is the information center for New York, to give you updates as to things like parking, what's happening around the city, different rulings that have been made overnight, things that change immediately. We didn't have this when my kids was in school, not even when I was in school. We kind of just had to wing it and hope that they gave it out on the news, you know what I'm saying? But today is an official snow day. Yes, y'all. Let's read and see what's going down with these kids. Let's go. So for the first thing is NYC. Anybody got a car in the NYC area? Parking, alternate side of the parking, y'all know that foolishness y'all be running around doing, is suspended for the day. I'm probably going to be suspended for a little while. So while we getting dumped on, and I mean dumped on, because I've been watching this bad boy hit up at least 2 inches every hour. Every time I got up to go to ladies, I checked outside. It looked like I ain't gonna lie. The only time I like snow in New York is when it's first falling down. So let's talk about it. All right. Then we got garbage, trash, recycling, compost is delayed probably for a couple of days. So expect.
Yeah, that's what's going to be a couple of days.
No, got it. Then schools are officially closed. Public schools are officially closed due to snow. There will be no remote instructions. These kids have officially gotten a day off. They haven't had a real snow day in about a minute. No remote instructions are happening today. And according to Mamdani, there is a travel ban expected to hold until about noon today, depending on how the Department of
Sanitation
manages the snow. And for everyone who is non-essential, if you do not have a job that runs this city and keeps people alive or going, you ain't got there's nothing to do. Y'all got what I'm saying? There ain't nothing to do. Just to let you know. So with that being said, ain't nothing better to do than to hop in, push in, and come hang out with us for a little while online, and let's get some info going that'll help your day. You know what I'm saying? I love you guys. This is the information for the day. We decided we wanted to make sure y'all were caught up. Let's go, booze. What's the news today, Mr. Thomas? What's happening?
Oh, well, for outside of the snow ban.
Oh yeah, snow ban. That means nobody. If you ain't an essential, don't be on that road.
Yep, don't be on that road because they will take your car and your.
It is not a good. It's not just that it's not good. It's not healthy. It's not safe.
No, but it's really, it's funny. It seems like it appears that every time there's something major happening, something major happens that hits the world, hits the financial district. And, I want you guys to realize it's important to make sure you guys got a plan for your money.
That's right.
Because for some reason, the bank seems to have bigger plans. The banks always have plans for your money. And, they always drop stuff on the weekend. And, this weekend I was looking up some information, and there are plans in place already for the bail-in. We've talked about the bail-in once before.
Oh. We don't talk about stuff like everybody know what we talking about.
Okay,
remember?
Let me rephrase that.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got to make sure that my husband remembers that he is, right now he's the smartest student in the classroom. So he can't just be talking like everybody in his area, like with his caliber. Tell him what the bail-in is.
The bail-in is where you guys everyone who has a bank account, safe deposit box, savings account, IRA attached to their banks, have now become the true creditors to the bank. If they become to the point where insolvency comes up, and insolvent means not able.
Vocabulary. Let's make sure.
Insolvent means they're unable to pay their bills or support themselves to stay open.
Yep.
And the FDIC will not cover them or cannot cover them, which is the Federal Trade Insurance Company. FDIC, we see that big gold symbol and we get all excited. Our money is protected for $250,000. Guess what? If we can't cover it, you are the next line of support. And they can access your account, use their money to solidify the bank because they're actually the owners.
Come on.
And then you have to possibly wait to get money back.
That's what's up.
Now, my question to you guys, real quick before we go any further.
Yep.
How long can any of us survive, or how many can any of you survive without access to your bank?
Let's just call it what it is. It's an IOU from the bank because that's what they're going to have to hand you until a later date.
If you even get one.
Or your mortgage, or the bank's going to actually stop. That's what I worry about. I wonder if your bank is insolvent and you are now, all your assets are being frozen, does that actually stop the other banks from wanting your mortgage money? Or if your mortgage is at that bank, does your mortgage
disappear?
Or personal loans? I wonder.
That's a cool conversation to have.
We need to get into that, yo. Because see, what happens is when your money's in one place and all the business you do runs in one place, you got to ask them questions. Do you know to ask the question of, okay, so if my money gets caught up in this whole thing, do the bills get slowed down that you keep sending me? Gotta ask. Because I can't pay you if you holding my money. Does that make sense to y'all? Guys, let me tell you something. You spent a bunch of years saving money. Y'all been spent a bunch of years putting away finances because you wanted to have a retirement. Only to find out that the system is crashing. The system that's been holding on to it and promising to help build it is crashing. And guess what? It's okay because their business can crash, but now you are going to be the line of credit they use to fix it. And then they'll give you an IOU saying that we will come back and we'll get back to you once this thing is reorganized. By the way, that's how bailouts work with the FDIC. That works. That's how they get in the. But see, the thing about it is normally your bank accounts are pretty secure. That's what made us feel so secure. Why is this important? Because the FDIC does not insure one. It's not an insurance company for one bank. It's an insurance company for almost all the banks. Mm-hmm. And so that insurance company in no way can handle a system implosion because it cannot provide funding for everyone. I want you to do the math, okay? So if you have $100,000 in your bank, but you got clients paying you $1 million, now you insure them that up to a certain amount, not one client, you got all these clients come together and everybody's actual premiums pay you out millions, okay? But you only got a certain amount in that bank,
Mhm.
$100,000 physically sitting there to make sure that if one of these bad boys go down, I got you. Don't worry.
Mm.
Got me? I got you. No problem. We can get the ones. One or two. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy crap, we ain't got enough money to cover everybody at one time. Now, I want you guys to think about that. I need us to start doing math, my loves. This is a community. It's time to save ourselves. It's time to save yourselves. We got to get some real thinking down here because unfortunately, we are not thinking. We're feeling. We're hoping. It's time to do math and start putting people to task about what they're really doing for you. So we don't like to put out information with affirmation, without application, and we don't like to share stuff that doesn't have some sort of backup. So let's get
Yep.
started. Mr. Thomas, are you ready to roll?
Yes, let me bring that to the.
All right,
Ready.
let's go.
Give me 1 second.
$845 trillion. That's how big the global derivative market is, according to the Bank for International Settlements. These aren't assets or loans. These are risky financial bets layered on top of the same debt over and over and over again. These are the same instruments that Warren Buffett once called financial weapons of mass destruction, and they were at the heart of what nearly took down the entire financial system back in 2008.
The people that ran most of the institutions, I probably shouldn't name names, but they went away rich.
But here's the real difference between now and 2008. Back then, risk was more concentrated with a handful of big banks. Today, that risk is being sliced up and pushed into every corner of the system as banks use new financial tools like synthetic risk transfer and off-balance sheet structure to move their exposure into your pension, hedge funds, and asset managers, making them look safer on paper when in reality, just because the risk is less visible, it's actually highly contagious. And all of this is happening as global debt hits record highs, the U.S. barrels towards a refinancing wall, and the liquidity crisis continues to tighten in a system that is more interconnected than ever before. In case you missed it this week, global regulators issued a formal warning on banks' increased reliance on risk transfers, specifically SRTs, or synthetic risk transfers, a crafty financial tool that banks use to shift risk off of their balance sheet without ever having to sell the underlying loan. And regulators are saying now that the market has grown so fast and is so interconnected that it poses a major systemic risk. But this isn't just a Wall Street problem. Your bank is likely using these structures right now. Your deposits set up on their balance sheet and your pension used as the counterparty to absorb the losses.
Right now, every bank in town is unloading these bonds onto unsuspecting customers, and they won't devalue them until they get them off their books. This level of criminality is unprecedented, even on Wall Street.
Here's how it works. A bank holds a loan, let's say a private loan or commercial real estate, something we know is getting more risky by increased delinquencies and defaults. More on that in a second. But the bank doesn't want to sell the loan. They want to keep it. And instead of cutting their losses, what they do is they find an investor who's willing to give them partial credit protection, meaning that the bank pays that investor a small fee. And in return, should the loan fail, that investor is on the hook to absorb the losses first up to a limit. To put it simply, it works like this. Let's say you have a friend, Harry, who borrows $100 from you, but Harry loses his job and you're worried about getting paid back over time. So you go to another friend, Tom, and you say, hey, Tom, will you partially insure this loan for $100 to Harry? If so, I'll give you $5 a year. But if Harry can't pay me back at some point, well, then you owe me $20, right? It limits the amount that I stand to lose. And if he pays me back, Tom makes some money and I can sleep better at night. Sounds simple enough on paper, But here's where it gets scary. None of this is actually about reducing bank risk. SRTs accomplish two very specific things for banks. First, it allows them to avoid having to sell assets that are worth far less at market value than they are on paper. These banks have massive unrealized losses, or losses that only become visible should they be forced to sell an asset, which is when investors and depositors would panic, rightfully so, because it shows that the banks have far less capital than many of us have been led to believe. So instead, by using SRTs, they're allowed to keep these assets and keep the illusion alive. Second, and this is a big one, it frees up capital liquidity. If you transfer the risk on a loan, you are allowed to hold less capital against that loan. So banks, they get to look safer. Execs get massive bonuses, shareholders are happy, and on the surface, everything looks stable. But underneath, the risk is actually growing, and all it takes is one match to light a fuse, and the whole thing comes crashing down. But if you're wondering, well, wouldn't regulators stop it? Yeah, the same regulators who approved mortgage securitization in 2006, the same regulators who are just now waving a red flag when it's already too late, because believe me, it gets worse still. The insurers, the institutions that are taking on the risk, who are supposedly standing in the way between your bank and disaster, aren't who you think they are. They're not regulated institutions, they're shadow banks. Private credit funds, hedge funds, financial institutions that operate outside of regulation with almost no oversight and zero transparency to the public. Following the 2008 Great Financial Crisis and restrictions put on banks, shadow bank lending exploded. So much so that shadow banks now account for half of all financial assets globally. We're talking about private credit funds and highly leveraged loan managers who are making risky bets on companies that would never qualify for traditional loans. These are speculative, highly leveraged bets. We're talking 10, 20 times leverage on these companies that have weak credit and slowing revenue. But right now, private credit defaults are rising sharply. Think about what that means. They might not be able to absorb losses, especially if things turn quickly, but none of this is hypothetical. In fact, think about the loans that the banks themselves are using SRTs for. Let's start with commercial real estate. Office vacancy rates are sitting in some cities close to 20%. And recently, with AI concerns, we could see that trend continue to accelerate. You see the empty buildings. These are buildings that were financed in 2019, 2020, and now have to be refinanced at 2, 3, 4 times higher, yet there are no tenants. The math doesn't make sense. But who's holding those loans? U.S. banks. Regional banks are especially susceptible to commercial real estate. The losses today are nowhere near reality. The write-downs are coming. It's not a matter of if, but when. They're using these risk transfers to try to keep the levee to hold the water, but the dam is bursting. Then we have private credit. Again, these shadow banks that are taking on the SRTs from your bank. They are highly, highly leveraged in private credit, a sector that is seeing more stress today than it did in 2008. These aren't small, isolated issues. Look at what just happened a few months ago in the auto loan sector with the subprime loan crisis. Auto loan delinquencies hit the highest level on record since record keeping began, with millions of Americans more than 60 days behind on their car payments. As repo rates surged, the asset-backed securities built on top of these subprime auto loans began to collapse. If any of this sounds familiar, it's 2008 all over again, but instead of with houses and mortgages, it was with cars. If you have borrowers at the bottom of the credit tier who have all of their loans bundled and sliced up and repackaged as something new, you're going to feel it ripple all the way up, which is why we saw Tricolor Holdings, a subprime auto lender, collapse seemingly out of nowhere, shocking everyone, when in reality, the numbers showed what was happening all along. With many saying it's time to brace for impact because there's never just one, right? This is just the first of many. So the question becomes, with all of this risk and all of this growing stress, Who is actually left holding the bag when everything comes crashing down? If U.S. banks failed today, it is far different than it was in 2008. In fact, most people don't realize the tools that are already in place for the depositor. Specifically, I'm talking about a bail-in. Unlike a bail-out, where the government steps in and bails out the failing bank and makes sure that the depositors are taken care of, in this situation, you, the depositor, are the one who's used to make the bank whole again. And if you think, no, that'll never happen here in the United States, the truth is it's already completely legal. They passed the framework. They made the laws following 2008. They did it quietly so that when this day came, because they knew it would, right? They papered over the system, but nothing was actually fixed. In fact, like I said, derivative exposure has actually grown in 2025, up 16% from the year prior. So that when this day came, you were the creditor of the bank, and the creditor of the bank is the one who would make the bank whole again. We've seen it play out in Cyprus. We've seen it play out in Lebanon. And make no mistake about it, the playbook is here and legal and in place in the United States.
I plan to go to the bank and withdraw all the money I have in there. I can't trust them anymore. It's theft. They're stealing from me.
And if you think that the FDIC, they're going to be the ones to save you, think again. Yes, they are supposed to insure up to $250,000 of a bank account, but think about what that really means. Their deposit insurance fund is a drop in the bucket compared to what would actually happen if you had more than 2 or 3 mid-sized banks fail. They do not have the funds. So let me ask you, how long realistically could you survive without access to your bank accounts? How long could you survive if they froze them, if they seized them, if they took away your savings from you? Because in many other cases, it has been years that people went without access to their funds, and then they were lucky if they got anything back. In most cases, whatever they had was taken from them to save the bank that robbed them in the first place. Now, I'm not saying that this is happening tomorrow, but the risk is real. The architecture is put in place. The SRTs are happening. And we know that there's a collapse right now in private credit. We know there's a liquidity squeeze. And what I always ask people is, if you know all of this is happening and very real, what are you waiting for to make sure you're protected? Stop trying to time the system, because systemic risk doesn't always just happen all at once. It builds slowly and quietly, and then it happens all at once. And at that point, most of the time, it's too late to prepare. When we talk about physical gold being your insurance policy, I always say, if you're considering it your insurance, you have to have your insurance in place before the crisis happens, or else it doesn't do you any good. Now, for me personally, when I think about protecting myself and making sure I have a strategy for what's coming next, it absolutely involves protecting my wealth outside of this system, outside of this systemic risk, with a strategy that involves physical gold and silver. Now, if you don't already have a strategy, I'm not just saying gold and silver, but a strategy that involves physical gold and silver, specifically tailored to your goals, your concerns, and what is coming next, I highly, highly recommend that you download our free guide. It is a gold and silver guide. It has a ton of great information on there on gold, silver, its function, right? A lot that you can learn completely free. Download it so you have your copy by scanning the QR code, or there's a link down below in the description.
All right, and thank you, Taylor Kenny, for that. Mr. Thomas, you in?
I am in. I'm in. Yes, thank you very much for that.
All right. So let's try to unpack some of that, because I don't think people understand what happened in 2008. Really not understanding that we are actually reoccurring. This is also reoccurring on the back ends. Those people woke up to what they didn't know, but there were several people. Now, the movie The Big Short, that's what she was playing when they was talking. The people were talking about how, this is unprecedented. People are this.
I thought that looked familiar.
Yeah, that was from the movie The Big Short. And The Big Short was a movie that was made to explain exactly what happened and how it took place after the fact. So The Big Short was made a couple of years after we did actual, and this was derivatives, but in the housing market. Derivatives, and to be very honest, are when you take something that has whole value and you break it down. You break it down, similar to ETFs. Is it ETFs now? Okay, similar to ETFs, and you break it down and then lend it out more than its value. When that process starts to fall apart, that level of loan or that level of debt falls apart, so does what's inside of it. So does everything. So I want you to imagine that that at one time they were giving houses to people who just, everybody was getting a house. You get a house, you get a house, you get a house. Anybody could qualify for a home, whether they had a house, whether they had a job. They had a lot of Latinos at the time got homes. A lot of people ended up homeless at this point because they were given homes because the loans. That's how you get a home. You get a home loan, and once you qualify for a certain amount of money for money, right? You just have to pay it back. All of those bad loans defaulted at the same time. So what happened to those houses? Those people couldn't pay those back. They couldn't pay the loans back. And then the price, what happens is the subprime market went up. The interest rate went up.
And so everybody got a balloon payment mortgage statement.
Exactly. At one time. And so the banks were not getting the money back. The mortgages went up. People were like, oh, ain't this insured? Who you think insured the banks? When that money disappears, you guys have the money that the banks depend on. Yep. They take your money and then they make loans against it. If they make bad loans against your money, who do you think they come? Whose money money went bad? It used to be the bank. Now it's you. They've passed the responsibility on to you.
It's funny. What's funny about it isn't even you, the consumer. It's not even the bank's money. It's the bank's bad investment choices that are actually going bad. Truly speaking, it's their investment choices that went bad, belly up, or just defaulted. And you are now the counterparty risk holder to what has just happened. You know,
and we want you to understand that lady was talking about taking all her money out the bank. Well, where's her next check going to come from and go into? How's she going to get her money? How do you get your money out of the bank? You remember, all of this is connected. All of it's connected. So you could take everything you have out of the bank. If you still have cash flow going into the bank account,
they're still getting it.
They're still getting it in. Once you take it and you divert it, where are you going to put it when the whole system has been affected at one time? Hold on a second. We got a bubble. Let's get it in. Miss H. Minor rising.
Are we able to take out our money now?
That's the other thing. She said, are we able to take out our money now? We are, but you're limited and you can be restricted.
Yes, they can. There are restrictions in place. There was a conversation last week that we had, and we were talking about limiting the amount of access. And
no, it's already in place.
I'm sorry. Let me not say they did put it in place. Yeah,
already. Well, it's not a day. These are new rules, and I try to make sure I put it out there. So I got a little something. I'll play for you. Play for y'all.
But what makes it really heinous, and I really got to say this: when I heard it, I'm still studying behind it because it pissed me off when I heard it the first time.
Yeah.
You know, we had this number that the banks put out years ago called 10,000. Anything under 10,000, you didn't have to report.
Right.
Now they have this something called strategic tracking. If you do multiple cash transactions, you are now being looked at as a possible threat to the financial system.
Yes.
Because you might be doing something different with your.
All right.
Look, go ahead, because I'm just shy of saying that they think you're laundering money when they've been doing it for years.
How do you launder money in an account that you own? It's interesting. It has your whole identity on it, and all of a sudden you're starting to launder your own money, huh? It's like now you're paying all your bills by cash because it's too pricey to put it on the digital, and all of a sudden, that's shaky. That's shaky. And so it's what it is grooming. It's grooming you to become a part of the system.
Is it grooming's the word?
It is. It's grooming. It's financial grooming. What they're doing is grooming you into a digital system out of the cash system so that they can monitor it. Once you take the cash out of the bank, they can't see it anymore. They can't see the activity. But when you use it to swipe and you go pick up stuff and pay your bills and everything is ding, 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 tap, 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 tap.
And I gotta be, it's funny. I am very much a tap kind of person. Now I'm at the point where,
How would you stop doing that? I'm telling you right now, I used to tell this.
Oh man.
All right.
I'm a tap hound.
Hey, Brooklyn Marv, how you doing, Bobo? We got folks that was hanging out in the house on the multiple levels. We got stereo. We on Clapper, Grand Rising. Welcome,
Grand Rising to you all. Grand Rising.
Infomercial coming up. It's actually it's information. So you guys know that we teach digital financial literacy. Now, what I wanted to do is information, but I like the way we were able to place it. Would you guys like to see a little what we do in our financial literacy class?
Oh, hold on. She done threw some dice out there. Hold on, let's see what we
I'm feeling good. It's great. Look, it's a snow day officially. It's Monday, mental wellness. Let's go talk about what's happening. Because we're gonna talk about what's happening, but let's talk about what we want to do after. Let's have that conversation. You mind if I put it up, Mr. Thomas?
Let it rip, girl.
At the end of the day, the government.
All right, let's do it. I'm gonna start it over.
Oh, excuse me. Let me pour that.
Yes.
Is that me? No, it's you.
That's me. Here we go.
All right, let's talk about cash. For years, there's been a clear, well-known line in the sand for when the government starts paying attention to your withdrawals.
Yep.
But that line is about to be completely redrawn, and it's happening in 2026. This change could really shift how banks look at even your most routine transactions. So let's break down exactly what's going on and, more importantly, why.
For decades, this was the magic number, right? $10,000. You walk into a bank, you pull out more than 10 grand in cash, and boom, that transaction gets automatically reported to the feds. It was the threshold pretty much everyone knew about. Well, you can go ahead and say goodbye to that long-standing rule. It's about to be history.
And here's the new number. Starting in 2026, that reporting threshold is going to plummet all the way down to just $1,000. No, that's not a typo. It's a massive, massive change, and it's designed to give federal agencies a much, much closer look at how cash is moving around.
Now, just to be clear, this isn't some idea from a single agency. We're talking about a coordinated push from the Department of the Treasury, the IRS, and FinCEN, which is the Treasury's financial intelligence unit. They're all on board. The official reason? To boost financial transparency and crack down on illegal activities. But, what does that really mean in practice? Well, it really all comes down to stopping one specific thing, a behavior called structuring. This is the real target here, and it's pretty much the entire reason they're making such a dramatic drop from $10,000 all the way down to $1,000.
So what is structuring? The idea itself is actually pretty simple. It's when somebody intentionally breaks up a big cash withdrawal into smaller chunks. Why? To stay just under that reporting limit and hopefully, fly under the radar of the authorities.
Here's a perfect way to visualize it. Let's say you've got a guy, we'll call him Sneaky Stan. Stan needs $9,000 in cash. Now, instead of taking it all out at once, which would have triggered a report even under the old rules, he gets clever. He pulls out $3 grand on Monday, another $3 grand on Wednesday, and the last $3 grand on Friday. He thinks he's beaten the system, but this is exactly the kind of pattern this new rule is designed to catch.
And that's really the whole point here. By dropping that reporting limit to just $1,000, regulators believe they can spot these kinds of patterns way more easily. The ultimate goal is to close the loopholes that people use for things like tax evasion or running an entire business off the books with nothing but cash. Naturally, this brings up a huge question, probably the one on everyone's mind. We live in a digital age, right? So what about all those payment apps?
So let's just ask it directly. Are your Venmo transactions, your PayPal transfers, or your Cash App payments going to get flagged under this new $1,000 rule? Well, the official sources have given us a pretty big hint about what they're after, and it's actually kind of catchy. The focus seems to be very, very clearly on physical money.
Okay, let's get really specific. The source materials for this 2026 rule change, they are laser-focused on physical, paper cash being withdrawn from banks. They talk about cash transactions, banks, consumers, but you know what they don't mention? Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. Now, that is not to say that digital payments aren't monitored in other ways. They are. But for this particular $1,000 rule, The target is good old-fashioned paper money. Okay, so let's bring this all back home. What does this actually mean for you, for your wallet, for your day-to-day life? Let's talk about the practical side of all this. First, and I really want to make this crystal clear, taking out $1,000 in cash is not a crime. It's not going to be illegal. Nothing about the act of withdrawing your own money is changing. This is all about reporting. The bank just has to log it. That's it. And that log isn't there to trigger an immediate investigation into every single person who takes out $1,001. The IRS is playing the long game here. They're collecting data points to spot suspicious patterns over a long period of time. A one-off withdrawal to buy a used car or pay for a vacation, that's almost certainly not going to raise any red flags. They're looking for consistent, repeated activity that just doesn't add up. That being said, some folks should probably be ready for a few more questions from their bank. If you're an independent contractor, for example, or a small business owner who deals in cash, or really anyone who handles large amounts of physical cash frequently, like maybe you send money overseas to family, you might just find your bank asking for a little more verification.
So, how do you get ready for all this? What can you do to prepare for 2026? Well, according to the experts cited in the source material, there are 3 really clear, actionable steps you can take.
First up, keep a solid paper trail. Records, records, records. If you can clearly show where your money comes from and where it's going, you'll be ready for any questions. Second, and this is a big one, don't be sneaky Stan. Deliberately structuring your withdrawals to avoid the limit is a fantastic way to look suspicious. Just don't do it. And finally, if you're someone who really does move a lot of cash for legitimate reasons, it's probably a smart move to talk to a financial advisor. Make sure all your ducks are in a row.
At the end of the day, the government's official line on this is pretty straightforward. They say this isn't about penalizing ordinary people. It's about modernizing how they monitor transactions and ultimately closing those loopholes to protect the financial system for everyone.
And that really leaves us with the big central question here, doesn't it? Is this a necessary step forward into a new era of financial transparency? Or is it a step too far? Maybe even the beginning of the end for our financial privacy? That's the real debate at the very heart of this new rule. That's first.
So what? God, there is so much to unpack there. It is disgusting. Mr. Thomas, you gonna come back in the room?
You Benson wants to do his work and do his checking. They want to monitor. But my thing is this: if you're a mom and pop, you know your business is traditionally run on cash in and out because vendors come to your store. They don't expect a credit card. They expect you to hand them cash for the products that they hand you because they're a small business too. This is how you keep your business running. But what they're saying is, we don't want you to run your business that way. We want to make sure that we keep the quote unquote the term's called AMM or AML, anti-money laundering clauses. And that's all they do. They just change the way they put them in.
But who does 10,000 to 1,000 really affect? It's not small businesses. It's not, and it doesn't make any sense. See, people, we got to wake the hell up and start thinking about this. You got to really realize these rulings aren't set in stone. Y'all know that, right? It's set because the people allow it, or we just don't care. We don't
say nothing about it
until your bank asks you about why you pull out this much money this many times, and then they can deny you access to your bank, to your money.
That's the other half of it.
You need cash. Now, why would cash be necessary? I can give you a couple of reasons. Payment rails, the fees for transferring finances. That's why most of our pricings have gone up. Because of these lovely conveniences of buying things through technology, we end up paying more money.
Yes.
Just think about it, Alvin.
Instacart,
Uber, all of those. You end up paying an extra $20 bill for something you could have went and got, and this is the beautiful part, or you could have just purchased it directly from the supermarket.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell y'all this right now. Those third parties, and I've noticed that because I have a couple of stores that I like, didn't dawn on me that if I go straight to their website and order my food for delivery directly from them, it would bring the price down by almost $20. That extra delivery cost would be built in. But no. We always want to go to such and such.com to find my such and such near me. Why not do business with the people in the neighborhood and let them service you the way those big businesses? Because basically, they're passing on their expense to you. That's what happens. That's how tariffs work, baby. We've been dealing in this tariff lifestyle locally so long, we don't even recognize it when they put a word to it.
It's become commonplace.
So this is how businesses function. They're in business to make money. Every time they take on an expense, they add it to the cost. They pass it on to the cost. Businesses have to make a profit, so they have to make sure that their expenses are lower than their profits.
Yep.
To do that, that's where their price range comes from. You have things you need. So when you go shopping, if you don't want to do your feet through the snow like it is today, you're going to get somebody else to do it for a much higher premium. Yep. And the businesses ain't taking that on. They're not going to have people coming in their place to come do shopping for you, and they're going to take it on. They get paid right up front from your credit card.
Let me tell you, today is that day. If you hire someone to do your shopping for you, there will be a premium attached.
Oh, trust and believe. Let me let you know.
And then you're going to have to wait. Whenever they get to you, they get to you.
Exactly.
But there will be a premium attached to it.
But see, I'm not worried about the time frame. I'm worried about that you guys aren't realizing that what's on your receipts. You're not reading these things. I get into it with everybody. I let folks know I don't pay. I'm telling you right now, call me what you want. Y'all can stop watching and listening. But I don't pay people. I don't pay my service people an average of 18 to 22 cents. I'm sorry. An average from 18 to 28 cents on the dollar for eating food at a restaurant. I just paid for the food. Because the restaurant has the requirement to price their food to pay their staff. Y'all get that? You don't pay the staff by coming and sit at the table. But you keep giving them what's called a gratuity mandatorily. Guys, we have gotten, there's countries where that gratuity is not included. It's actually considered an offense.
It's an offense.
And try to give somebody a tip. It don't work. Because the price is the price. They know how to price their stuff.
And you will offend somebody very much.
Offend people. Why is that abroad? But here in America, we've made it a status thing. If I could give you, I'm a hook you up. Let me explain something to you. I am not so rich and so wealthy and so secure that I will give away a third of my income just to look good. If I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna get a tax return on that bad boy because I'm in business.
That's a good question. Do I get a tax return, a 1099 on doing my giving out tips? Because I want that on my receipt too.
Gratuity is like donation. Y'all know that, right?
Donations are a tax write-off. Hello.
Yes, they are. Gratuities are donations.
I will give you a thing if you present me with a 1099. Maybe that's what we should put. The next time we go out to dinner and we do a gratuity, sir, could you give me a 1099 for this, please? I need
They don't have to. It already says it on there. It's on the bottom. You're doing it voluntarily. When you give people money or you give an organization money, because that's what you're doing. See, you need to talk to your tax preparer because this is not tax advice. I don't do financial literacy. I do financial literacy, not financial advice. So get the rules and the roles from there. Try to get your money back. Because my thing is this. First of all, you don't make enough. Second of all, it's not worth enough when you get it. It don't stay.
I don't care how good it is.
I teach digital financial literacy to teach people how to get their money out of being lazy. So no lazy money is our mentality and our process. We teach folks how to take what you have and make the most of it. Because if we're not doing this in our community, what happens? And I love how people go, well, you're not doing it for free. I did it for free for 4 years. I ain't doing it no more. I told you that this was coming. We told you that the world was going to be not only digital, but again, they're preparing you for a new finance. Once they crash the system and y'all can't touch your money, it's okay. Because now you're going to get CBDCs and you won't have to touch your money. There won't be any money to touch.
There won't be any money to touch.
You won't have any problems with. There'll be no fees for pay rails. There'll be one system of finance. You won't have businesses that are running fees from different companies because everything goes through the same payroll. It's already aligned. It's already aligned. It's called Fed Now. Look it up. Check your bank. was set up in 2023 and you did nothing because you didn't
October 2023 is when it came through.
And so I want you guys to realize something. We don't know half of what we need to know in order to have a future. So it's time to talk to folks that are making it happen. We do class every week. I've been doing this for the last 5 years. It's already 6 years now. 6 years of teaching people that the system is not what you think it is. 6 years of people telling me, oh, why you buy gold and silver? Well, can you spend it? First of all, I am not trying to spend gold and silver. And the day I have to do that, we have hit hyperinflation, and that ain't somewhere you want to live. So I am begging folks, do not wait till you have to have gold and silver to have something to get bread and a loaf of bread and some, rice and stuff for your house.
Mm-hmm.
Do not wait till that day comes.
You gotta shell out a silver coin for a loaf of bread and a cup of coffee to get through the day.
You better make sure you have gold and silver so you have value, because a lot of people, look, right now, I ain't messing with, I can't say I'm not messing with the credit system. I'm learning to manage the credit system so that I can build assets. People are like, oh, I want to be in debt. Actually, you do want to be in debt. You just want to know what you're doing, right? We want to know how to use debt appropriately. We want to know how to use different types of debt, how to access different types of finances for ourselves. Because what you're afraid of is killing your life existence and any future you may have. But it's okay, because information changes everything. And most people be like, oh, I can learn this on YouTube. Well, you on YouTube learning right now that you have a lot of distraction across YouTube, a lot of information at one time. And how many of y'all been able to lay it out in order that hasn't taken you years to pick up on? Took me years to lay this program together, and everybody is getting a benefit of not just my time, but the gurus and the teachers and the trainers that I learned from. It's all in there.
That's right.
Because I'm 51 years old, 52. Oh God bless me. I just hit 52. I'm 52 beautiful years in my life. And you want to hear something? Grateful for every year of wisdom, because I got to not only learn from my mistakes, but learn from the mistakes of others. And I got to put it in order so this whole world that we're looking at now makes sense and you can get something out of it. I tell people, come to class. That y'all see that right there? Digital financial literacy. That's what age we're in right now. You're in the financial age, the digital age. What are you doing about it? Are you still afraid of using your phone? I don't know how to use my phone. I'm digitally illiterate. How long are you going to keep saying that? How long are you going to say I'm financially illiterate when you don't have to be? This is the worst time to be in the world, because we have more distractions than the people who did better than us. Our elders. Our elders made more with less than we have, and way less connection and information than we have today. So it's time to get out of the distraction.
I think the biggest thing is we're so connected. We're so connected to everything and everyone. We're disconnected.
That's right.
We're so connected. We're disconnected.
We're connected to boxes. We're not calling people on the phone and checking in. Oh yes, and let me just say this for all my students that are watching, just to let you know, if you don't call me on the phone and check in when you need to, I'm letting y'all know right now, most people don't care. Those programs that y'all get into where you got the offer opportunities and, financial, this, that, and the other, they're not looking for phone calls from you. They ain't helping you in your life. And if they do, they're only doing it so they can keep getting paid. I guarantee you that. I'm letting you know right now, in this platform, we are building a community. We're building a network of networks. Folks that are connected through the things that they do, their lifestyle. We know who your children are. We care who your parent, who you're taking care of in your life. Mm-hmm. We care that things are going hard for you right now. Yes, while you're in class, when people get into my class, I have to remind them, this is not you leaving the world of that. It is you finally getting the knowledge to start to change how your world goes. It didn't just get easy because you went and got in a digital financial literacy course.
It did not.
New information don't change the world. It starts the process of you changing your world. It takes action. So we figured out how y'all can stop being busy and stop filling your head and start filling your world. So come to class or come hang out with us on Wednesday evening. See what we up to. Last Wednesday was priceless. Are you going to be in the room when it's time to start talking about what's going down and how we going to come together and make a plan to get it together? Because I don't need your money. I let y'all know right now. You will pay your tuition, but I don't need your money to know what to do with money. My question is do you? What do you know? What is your money doing right now? And if you got a 401k, when's the last time you looked at it?
Man.
What are you invested in? And question, when you need it, who got to give it?
We're just sharing with you that you are now the county party risk.
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's another part that you don't really understand. You may not understand is that all the derivatives markets are selling their assets over to private investors, and the private investors are selling it to these 401k fund managers to fill their thing to reduce their overhead and clean their shortfalls. And now your accounts are the other county party risk. So understand, look at what's inside your market. See if your 401k manager is offering you some new stuff that you ain't never heard of, stuff that you normally wouldn't get access to, and ask them who's fund, where's this coming from?
Right. What company is in this?
Yep.
What
institution is sending this?
So on top of that, let me speak to my gigs, my was it gig community? People who work gigs, how you're doing the deliveries and stuff, and you're working in the restaurants and stuff. Because I want to hear, I don't get it twisted. I do tip for good service. You got to be above and beyond the nonsense. Young lady,
have some good ones.
Look, I am telling you right now, I report. I'm one of those people who report rest of my services that I get, restaurants, businesses that I do business with, because I need y'all to know what you're walking into. I look up places for other people's reports to see how they treated you before I do business. But I also, let me let you know right now, when you do a good job, we reward you. I don't mind sharing. I don't mind saying, you know what? Go take care of some stuff right now. Girl, this young lady did a great job. We went to a hibachi place and I had a great time. And place really did a good job. I'm sorry, a hot pot. We took my daughter to hot pot. They took me to hot pot for my birthday, actually. And she knew I loved it. And it was Chinese New Year. Let's start with that. The Lunar New Year. Everything was crazy. I'm be real honest. It was a weekday. So we was like, oh, we're going to go during a weekday. It was still like very little staff. A lot of people coming in. We sat getting seated was amazing. But getting served was even better. This young lady went above and beyond by herself. Mm-hmm. Y'all get where I'm coming from? By herself. And
she had a whole row to herself.
Yeah, well, she had a few of us to herself. And then one other person was on the other side. Now, there's two people servicing everybody. And this young lady didn't miss a trick. She didn't miss a service call or something that we needed. And everything got done, including my husband's walker at the time. We needed him to come through. And she was making sure everybody was comfortable. We did a little tour, how it all works. Had a great time. Now, for someone who does that, you got that. I don't even put a percentage on it. I put a price on it. You know why? Because I know how to pay people for what it is a gratuity is for. It's gratitude. Mm-hmm. Y'all have to understand how to manage your money and why. You got to stop being emotional or connected to things because of habit. Because your wallet and your home is connected to that same bad habit. How you live is connected to your financial habits. How you give the money out, what you do with it, and also what gets paid first. Do you pay your bills first before your money made you some money? We told you ain't no lazy money in this bad boy. No lazy money methods is what we're teaching. We didn't get that from anybody. We created it because we realized that was the problem. So we are here changing the game. And I got a whole bunch of students playing. I love it. Great service really matters. That's right, Miss Hilda. Thank you. How are you how you are treated? Exactly. Your experience. That's the only reason you went out to go out to eat, to do things for the experience. And if it's a bad experience, you should never come back and you should not tip. But let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. When you get your finances, how are you dealing with them? Brother, how you doing? We got Goobaloo in the room. Grand Rising, brother. We also got Doc Doc Tone AI. How you doing? How you doing, brother? With Sister Hilda. We on multiple streaming today, so we want to make sure we get this message out and strong. If you're not paying attention to your finances, somebody else is. Always has been. Somebody else has always been watching your dollars.
Yeah,
They've
they
been
do.
training you. They've been training you. My question is when is it time to see what your opportunities are for managing your finances? I tell people all the time, I ain't selling nothing. I'm an educator. You come, you pay tuition to learn how to do something, to learn how to move your stuff, your finances, keep your bills going straight, keep making sure that you have a life. And people, I'm gonna tell you right now, you know why I'm happy I got bills? That mean I got something. You can't have bills when you ain't got no money. Y'all know that, right? When you got no money, you got no options. But if you got stuff, when people tell me, oh, Miss Ruby, I'm broke, I say, no, you're not broke. You're just illiterate. You don't know what to do with money when you get it. We haven't been trained properly. You've been trained to pay your bills, while millionaire kids have been trained to borrow money to pay everything off with your money. They
With
take
your money.
they collateralize and borrow back. While their money makes interest and pay off the loan, they done spent the money and they still got all that money sitting on the side. Can you do that? You know how to do that with your finances? You know how to do that with your paycheck? Before you pay it out to somebody else, you make sure it collateralized and then you go pay your bills. Y'all figured that out yet? That's a system. It's part of no lazy money. Because y'all keep paying everybody else first. And we teach you to pay yourself first. Because if you won't pay yourself first, you ain't got no future. Mr. Thomas.
Yes,
you
indeed.
there? You with us?
I'm just thinking about, because I'm in my head right now, because what I realize is that there's money out on the table that we don't take advantage of.
All the time.
There's always money out on the table, and people are like, I don't have. You just don't know where to look. And where you're not looking at is in your own pockets because it's already there.
It's your habits. It's how you've been trained. See, my thing is this. We can share with you that the community exists until you show up. We love you. Anyway, we love you right where you are, just the way you are. And I have to tell people, I was telling people in the room on Wednesday, I said, people think this is an opportunity meeting, right? They think it's an opportunity meeting. When them folks left that room, they were like, really? This is what's there? They had all kinds of information to run on to change things like how to get more money back in your paycheck. They left the room with opportunities I'm talking about opportunities in the world that exist for themselves. And I'm not talking about, go buy this and this group and invite somebody. We build community conversations on moving up and shifting something.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the problem and then create the resolution right in the room. Because, baby, it ain't getting any better for you if you don't have no information. The ones that's getting better for are the ones that are embracing what's happening from an informational application point of view.
But everyone's thinking their doors are shut.
I got a bunch of people telling me they're going to show up to class. I'm like, go ahead. It's all right. We see you when you get there.
But, the conversation is everyone thinks when you say invite to, they're expecting the hustle to come. They're expecting the product to hit the floor. And the only product we give you is the fact that you have an opportunity to take care of your finances, and we share the education. Now, whether you get it or not doesn't matter to us, but it should matter to you.
Ain't a damn person complaining that colleges have tuition. Not one. And none of y'all making money from what you learn. Guarantee you. Everything that you took and went to school for, you went and applied to the stuff they taught you at your job need to get done. That was it. Most of the stuff was your research skills. It's so funny. Y'all didn't get a whole lot of those scores didn't come from research. I constantly remind my students, you don't got no grades. You're not here for grades, baby. I don't grade you. Life grades you. This is your money you're learning how to manage. This is your finances. This is how those things you put in place in your plan when we created your actual portfolio plan. That's what we putting in place today. That's what we put in the steps of how to get to. I'm showing you the how to step by step. 1, 2, 3. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And once you learn how to do that and you do it again and again and again, you get to start placing things that you said on your list in your portfolio plan to your life. You start seeing it show up. It's a process, and we want you guys to be a part of it. We invite you every week. We invite y'all to Wednesday night. It's a conversation on a Zoom. That's free. Bring yourself, bring your friends. We talk about the whole deal. The whole deal. We want to make sure that all of y'all understand that life is going a certain way and that opportunities are huge to make things happen for yourself.
They are. They're very huge.
You don't have to sell nothing to nobody. Problem is y'all are already selling stuff. You know how many people I got in opportunities that have to keep recreating the wheel? They ain't got no help, just them trying to go. And y'all, I got to build my team. I got to build my team. My team is being structured right now because all of them are being shown how to make money. Everybody in our groups of education have been shown how to structure finances and keep finances coming in for themselves using everything that's in the world. Not one business, one opportunity, one product, one this. And then we're showing you how you don't got to beg a bank. You now are the bank. That's the opportunity you have in your life. Why do you think they're trying to shut down your opportunity to remove your money from there? They ain't trying to let you buy gold, silver, and crypto.
Because that means you take them off the board as a necessity.
They don't.
I'm sorry, you take them off the board as a tool to do what you need to do. Excuse me.
Yep. So I'm just gonna put this out and let my business owners know, if you won't make it in, anybody running a business and people are like, well, I don't got no money. I gotta tell you right now, one of my students reminded me of something. I said, oh shoot, I discovered this a long time ago when I got my little clever wallet. Did you know you have one wallet that actually creates a payment system for you instantly, and it just is direct pay? You can actually do it over the internet. You can send somebody, you can do it tap by phone, and it's a payment. It doesn't even have a fee. It doesn't have an extra fee to it because it's wallet to wallet.
That's right.
You can actually start taking crypto in your business without having to go through third-party companies, this, that, and the other. But your problem is you won't come to class and learn how to fill that up because you got to pay money. You ain't getting out of this life without paying something.
It's going to cost.
You rather put your time on. You rather put all your time on the line.
And the funny thing about it is when they don't pay for something, they don't see the value. But they always say, why do I have to pay for it? Why do you have to pay rent? Why do you have to pay your rent? Why do you have to pay for your products? Why do you have to pay employees? You don't ask that. Why do you have to pay for financial knowledge? Because we're giving you something that you need and you want.
No, I don't justify I'll let you know right now, I don't justify my services, Mr. Thomas.
It's not even justification, it's the reality of things.
I get it, but I never tell. You know why I don't tell people that? And I'm going to share this with y'all. I never tell people what my value is. I show it to you. I show you my value. My value is the opposite of what you're living. Y'all know that, right? You on the other side of my value. The value of what takes place in my classroom is the difference between you and the life you're living. Most of y'all are just loving this emotional happiness, but you're terribly miserable with your financial situation, scared to death. You know the financial system is falling apart. It's actually being restructured. It's falling apart because it's all you knew. What I know is something. I know the other half. This part that you keep seeing on commercials, you keep seeing in wealthy people talking about, oh, we're Bitcoin this and banks and crypto this and all kinds of stuff. I try to tell y'all, but I know how it works, and I know how to make it work for me and for others. And that's what I'm on the other side of. And I don't have to tell you the value of that. You already know it. The question is, are you willing to pay the price? We told you guys that we have 2025. We have an Aquarius process going right now. If you go click the website, you'll see it come up. When you click on the digital financial literacy course, the membership, right now for the next 2 months, to the end of this month and into March, you'll be able to pay 2025 prices. Just for this time, it's a monthly membership, and it's running right now at $75. Oh yeah, that's last year's. And that was last year's discounted price. Letting you know now. $250 for this year. And if you don't like it, it's okay. You can pay my other friends at $500. I have a bunch of other people who teach. Oh yes, I will introduce you to the community of this information. It is no longer free. When everybody was giving it away, Y'all don't want to believe us. Now the world has shifted to everything all of us crazy eccentrics have said. Y'all think we're supposed to give it to you. Time is up. That financial advisor is not even giving you this.
Financial advisors aren't even letting you in the room unless you pay them per hour for consultation.
Oh, yes, I absolutely do one-on-one trainings. I do. I'll let you know right now. I have one-on-ones. We have our group classes, which is our platform. Let you know now. We have master classes. We have video. We actually have video libraries. If you become a member, you get everything. When all of our members, anybody who gets a membership, you get everything. One-on-ones are built in, but they're very differently structured. So you get, with the membership, you get the one-on-ones, you get the classrooms, the live classrooms, you get the replays. You also get the digital revamps of the classes so that you get to learn from our digital platform. Oh yeah, you get live. Everything is connected. You also get to be a part of growing process of labs. And I love it because our labs are real. Right now, our students are in a competition to create finances. They're utilizing platform funding, and they're in a competition to see who makes the most money in a month. Yeah, this is fun. And they're having a ball learning how to be a team and grow money together. Now, while I don't mind them growing my cash, the groups get to keep the finances they grow. They don't get to keep the platform money, but they do get. Look, I done turned the game on its ear. Everybody else wants you to use your money, and most of y'all aren't believers yet. You have to see it working. But one rule I will tell you, do not watch the platform get wealthy while you stay broke with the same information.
Nope, that is not the way to do that.
Y'all understand? Come to class. I'll see you on Wednesday night. Wednesday nights are on the website, so all you got to do is go look at our community. What is it? A community help action. It's a community action meetup. Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We ain't joking. Eastern, be real clear. 7 p.m. Eastern, come on and hang out with us in the room. What we do is way different than what you see on these. So if you're inviting friends, tell them this ain't multi-level marketing, come in this room. What we talking about is real. Bring your questions. I mean it. Bring your questions because we do the research right in front of you. My goal is to make sure we stop being the ignorant people that don't do the work, and specifically the research work, that we don't know how to do our own homework. So if you down with the movement, you better show up, because for sure we show out every week. We'll see.
And it will not be televised.
No, it won't. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. And peace and love. Y'all take care of this snow day and do what you're gonna do. Have fun.
Sure, I almost got too comfortable hanging out here with this show.
Ooh, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da, see ya. Wake up and rise up in your eyes. It's breakfast with the Thomases, the ultimate prize. Mental Wellness Monday.